before I bring Mark up, he was a reader at my last launch, and most of the people I know here, I've known for a very long time, 6, 7, 8 years, 8 years for some people. Mark is a bit of a newer friend, meaning 3 to 4 years. But for someone who doesn't like people and doesn't have many friends, that feels like a new friend to me. Yes, a couple other new friends. So I just want, I don't like the poetry scene that much. Mark has his own views on it as well, so we won't get into that. But to have someone that I truly respect as a craftsman, as a sculptor of words.
You're really setting these expectations. As long as you know.
But I genuinely respect him as a man more than as a poet, and he has been profoundly there for me over the last couple of years, and it's been so invaluable. So to have him here and kind of just be able to shine a little light on him before he babbles on for a little bit. I really just want to say, this is Marc Brightside. I love him, and give him more claps and cheers than you did to me, because he deserves it. Welcome.
So I suppose continuing on from Hayden's very flattering introduction, I'm very happy to be here. Hayden is a phenomenal writer who I have an immense amount of respect for, so the fact that I can be here and was invited to be here is genuinely an honour, and I think Hayden knows that I will continue to support him until he gets sick of me. So I'm going to be reading from my second collection. It's called Impersonal. It's a collection about technology, about control, about the way that we live in modern Britain as individuals, as a people, and about my slowly degrading mental health. So hopefully we all take some comfort in that. This first poem is following on from some of the first collection I released, Keep It in the Family, relates a lot to my childhood growing up, and in particularly my relationship with my father, who passed away coincidentally a couple of months prior to the release of that collection. So I suppose this is almost an addendum to that story. This poem is called The Fine Day. When Christopher went up in flames, it was like a picture from a movie. All his closest friends were there, but neither were on time, and his pension money paid for the most simple service possible. Coffin closed in Putney Vale, riding on a spark. 3 months he'd waited, steady as a hornet, silent as a pyroclastic dome. I took the roundabout way home, wrapped in distance and guitars, as dead leaves tangoed in the wind and summer peeped through autumn's dressing gown. I smiled, somewhat. And the young lady with the pugs, their eyes like flying saucers, paws like leather lily pads, she smiled too. There was Wi-Fi on the train, a symphonic air conditioner, and Mr. Backwards baseball cap wrote poetry across from me. Something about watercress, something about coffee beans. I bought a steak and Stilton pasty without looking at the price first, and every set of crossing paths turned green for my departure. And as I stood before that house, I knew the past was ending for me. A quarter orbital rotation settled, done, splintered in a heartbeat, in the echo of a cheapo immolation. After Dad went up in flames, I called him Dad again, and everything was fine. Much like my self-professed antisocial friend. Can I just say as well, you have a lot of loved ones in the room for someone who's antisocial, so I call that into question.
But this is it.
Oh yeah, this is all gone. This is all. I myself, I do not form connections very easily, and I have great difficulty sometimes accepting when I'm loved by someone. So this is something I found myself writing on quite a bit. And this first poem, I find it very interesting sometimes the way that minor actions in our daily lives betray certain aspects of our psychology. I have a friend of mine who would never eat one Pringle from the can. He would always finish the entire can in one go. This is someone with poor impulse control. So I found myself thinking a little bit about how some of my own habits betray my own psychology. And I have a long-term issue, really, as an individual, of making hot drinks every morning, only to let them go cold on the windowsill. So, coffee is like getting married. Too many times I've left them half-cocked on the windowsill, day-old mugs degenerating by the bedside, wispy loops of evanescent brown, curdled residue in cold contrails, heat escaping through the vapors. People tell me I'm addicted. Too much is bad for the digestion, try something alternative instead. Little do they know, I have learned how to find pleasure in the making, the willing suspension of disbelief. Coffee is a statement, a commitment consummated in the clay of waking. Get up, rise up, chase away the void, clear the sandbags from your shutters, fill the kettle, listen to its worrying cry, look deep into your dark homunculi. Add milk. Watch the atoms rise, disintegrating compound galaxies, making love to water, intertwining, bonding into chemical abstractions. Make a promise, crystallized in white, 2 spoons if you're feeling dirty. Thank you. This next poem, if I can find it, because God forbid I use bookmarks, is on a similar topic. It's about learning how to accept that someone cares for you, that someone values you. It's about being guarded, it's about letting those guards go as you age, as you mature. It's called processing. Someone told me it takes time learning how to open doors. I have been vulnerable before, unwilling and afraid, useless as a fragmentary larval child suffocating in my cell until the day I grew beyond that shell, split the seams, dug my claws into the earth and wriggled up on land. My evolution brought a new conclusion. There is value in preparedness, the instantaneous cartoon escape hatch, a hidden blade, a Kevlar vest, the assurance that I still know best. The years have taught me how to safeguard my own interests, to lock the door, transfer the data, screenshot every temporary value, cut the line, back up the system, record your conversations in a secret folder, catch them in a web of their own words, flip the bayonet against them. It's 2022 and I am southbound, on return from red light Reading, bleary-eyed, when all at once my sudden insecurity becomes unshakable, and I am flooded with a new grief for the death of certitude, the loneliness who shared my bed in many forms, sober and awake, empty vessels lingering in coffee shop reflections, faces of the lost but not forgotten. She challenges my way of being, chips away my steel chrysalis with kindness, thoughtless gestures, cover versions of our favourite songs, morning coffee waiting by the bedside, quiet application of sustained metaphor. Because of her, the twilight hum, the inevitable bedside whiskey, is at risk of dying young. She deserves more than this, a future made of glass and eggshells, playing around firewalls and cold, unbreakable machinery. Someone always gets hurt in the end. I hope it's not her. So this next poem was one that I'd never actually performed for a long time until very recently, because I had no idea how to perform this one. The formatting of it and everything just didn't really seem suited to performance, but it went down quite well. So if I fuck it up completely this time, then you know why, because I've done it once before. I kind of made it up on the spot a wee bit, so sorry, Hayden. Just gonna ruin your night. Nothing major.
Already done that.
Already done that. Yeah. Being Hayden's already ruined it, so you know, already lowered the tone of the evening. Conversations with Google. 3 minutes past 9. Trains from North Greenwich to London Bridge Station. Buses from Greenwich to London Bridge. 12 minutes past 9, how to deal with depression. How to deal with people asking about your depression. 20 minutes past 9, side effects of sertraline. Sertraline without prescription. 37 past 9, single bedroom flats in Worthing, average rent prices in Sussex. 40 minutes past 9, ways of earning easy money fast, how to make money from poetry. 19 minutes past 10, trains from London Bridge to Gatwick Airport, songs about travelling at night. 47 past 10, 56-pack Buscapan, order online cheap, symptoms of high blood pressure. How to lose weight quickly, symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. 25 minutes past 11, etymology of petrichor. Why do I feel better when it rains? Train from Gatwick to King's Cross, how to deal with back pain. 12 minutes past midnight, how to help with clicking joints, benefits of giving up red meat, health benefits of giving up alcohol, how to give up alcohol. 24 minutes past midnight, cancer symptoms. Symptoms of bone cancer, how to tell if I have cancer. How to tell if I have cancer without going to the doctor. What if I have cancer? Lump identifier. How to tell my girlfriend I have cancer. What to do if I have cancer. 39 minutes past midnight, sad acoustic songs. Radiohead, Fake Plastic Trees. Elliott Smith, Between the Bars. The Mountain Goats, Black Pear Tree. How to stop listening to sad music. The Yardbirds, Only the Black Rose. 56 past midnight. Why do people kill themselves? Suicide rates, UK. 11 minutes past 1. Help. Thank you. So that's it from Impersonal. I'm going to read a couple of new pieces now, some of which are on their way to be published and some of which aren't. I have a third collection that I'm finalising at the moment. It's called In June. It's about my experience of living through the pandemic, going through therapy. Went through 13 weeks of therapy last year and how that experience has impacted me both as a person and as a writer and all that good stuff. So, fresh off the presses. And this first poem, if I can find what I've done with it. Always fully prepared, every event. Talk amongst yourselves. It's all good. Hayden's used to this, for the record.
Why so much paper?
Well, I never know what I'm going to read until I start, and wouldn't you prefer it that way? That way it's off the
That's
cuff,
why I like
it's
it.
off the presses.
Yeah.
I always thought it was in spite of that. Free toy.
Woo!
An outdated automaton says I am order number 23. Spits me out into a waiting room with gloomy blue and orange fish, rubber plants, the faintest smell of urine and vanilla chemtrails. A little guy dressed like a wheelie bin asks if I ordered the therapy as well. The therapies are good this time of year. And I say yes, I am order number 23, which makes me chuckle because 23 sounds like conspiracy to cool kids in the know, and I imagine that's the average lifespan for a creature shaped like me. He is order number 22. He tries to make a joke about it, but can't. Double glazed eyes dissect me at the desk, distant headphones, picking at his spots, drooling on my risk assessment forms. Do you want something while you wait? We got like crisps and stuff. I request some stuff and ask if I still get a toy for free. Thank you. I'll do two more, then I'll pass you up to Hayden, let the night continue. This next one is taken from a period of time where I was coming out of that process that I've spoken about, that major mental health crash last year and the recovery period, really. So this is Open Fields. I got myself outside today, first time in a while. My TV-perfect subroutines, wrapped in books, skimming emails, practicing a lesser way of living, are all getting a bit Eleanor Rigby, and the self-indulgence makes me sick. Reminds me of that girl from university who cried over her own reflection. It's time to process some material reality. Close your contracts, pay your loans, call your loved ones, tell them so. Spend an hour on the train to see them. I will come to you, dear friends. Make amends. Let your grudges go. Finish editing your YouTube video. Get everyone together. Toast the night. Say goodbye without saying goodbye because you don't think you'll be here next year. If we wake before we die, what then? We were told there would be a reward. We survived the war. Give us free shit. Our symptoms will persist beyond the plague, and as the skies turn grey, we find ourselves in open fields, picking out our benches, laying down with God and all his pastures, like the sky knows something more than us, and now I think those things in heaven may be less than what they seem. Thank you. So, to close things up, this is both a new poem and also one of the most recent poems I've drawn a line under, if I can actually find this stupid thing, which we should be used to by now. I really would like to emphasize for anyone that has struggled with their mental health during the pandemic, as we kind of move through these years and readjust to modern ways of living and the expectations that come with it, we are still here. And that's really kind of what I wanted to touch on with this poem, that there will always be another step as long as we allow there to be one. Without diving too deep into sentimentality, this poem is called Halloween. Years go by like skipping stones, repetition splintering the surface, every impact slick with splattered tension, fleeting residue. Unplanned engineering works suggest a wander, a seaside sing-song where the sands touch gravel and the slipstream smells like home. High above, some number 2 shaped balloons spinning on their axes wander by the forlorn clouds like birthday shurikens. The news said it would storm today. It did not. 3 girls who are half skeletons scramble at the car park, spilling coffee, trading face paint. Ginger tells me I look good. How wrong she is. Mum returns to poetry. Mum returns to pottery, like poetry with extra mess. Makes a Highland cow imperfect but recognizable. A pearlescent dove reminds me I can still be loved. There is an after to all this, another day. Like skipping stones, our persistent bones will find a way to move and move and move. Immeasurable thank you to Hayden for having me along tonight. I love you very dearly, in the most heterosexual way possible, which isn't 100%, but we know that already. And I hope we all enjoy the rest of the evening, which I'm sure we will, under his watchful eye. So, one more time for Hayden specifically.